Hi guys, so I've been using the Slapchop painting technique for about the past 4 weeks and absolutely love it. And as you can see, I kind of love the little smoke machine that I've recently made. There will be a video out soon showing how I made it. Very simple, very effective, and yeah, I love using it. So yeah, this is obviously about the painting, and this chap here took, as I say, well, 20 minutes, which is pretty cool. Especially as I'm not a fast painter, so yeah, very impressed with the timing. So this figure is one I got from Wizkids. It's one of their frameworks ones, and he's a hill giant. So obviously he is a lot larger than your normal size ones. So yes, I think if I had painted a sort of smaller figure, it probably would have been done in, well, a lot less than 20 minutes. Because obviously this guy took quite a bit more painting because he's got a rather large tummy, a bit like myself. So yeah, usual sort of thing with these framework ones. Cut off all the bits, obviously. Yeah, glued them together, nice and simple. So this painting technique isn't new or anything, but I think the fact that there's so many different sort of contrast paints, speed paints, and obviously green stuff, well, dipping inks, many more people are using them sort of paints, which is why this sort of process, well, it's become very popular because it is so simple, so easy, so quick, and yet, yeah, the results are pretty awesome, which is great because it means you can get all your plastic and, well, get it all cut out, assembled, and ready for tabletop gaming. Which is great, rather than it sitting in your pile of, well, I don't want to use the word pile of shame because obviously everyone loves the pile of plastic they've got. So it's just, yeah, your pile of unpainted stuff. So yeah, this is a great, quick and easy method to get all your grey stuff nicely painted and on a tabletop, ready to be used in, well, your Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, any like the 40k kill team stuff, which obviously I now absolutely love. Yeah, it's just a great, quick way of getting it so you can actually use the stuff, which is pretty cool. So it didn't take long to assemble this guy. Obviously he's pretty simple. I've got him on my nice sort of big extended base there, and obviously loads of bits left over, which is pretty awesome. So I'll be cutting them bits out to use in some kit bashing later, but obviously the sprues I'll keep and I'll turn them into some sprue goo. So one thing I did notice with this chap though, there are quite a few areas where, well, bits just don't seem to sort of line up well, or there's little cracks here and there. So as much as obviously I go around and I try and scrape it nice and clean, in this case there's actually gaps. So that's why I'm using the good old green stuff just to fill in some of those gaps. As you'll see at the end, there are a few little areas I possibly miss, and there's certainly some areas that could have done with a bit more scraping. But yeah, so this guy, he went together well, but yeah, a few little gaps here and there. So good old green stuff and get them filled in. So yeah, not too bad. So there was a few more areas I probably could have done, but kind of didn't. But anyway, on with the painting. So anyone who hasn't seen the Slapchop technique or method, whatever you want to call it, very simple. So start with priming them in black. Then I'd normally go over and dry brush in grey. But as this guy's obviously got a lot of skin colour, I thought I'd try something a little bit different, and I'll do the dry brushing in, well, it's kind of like a sandy sort of colour. I don't think it really matters what kind of colour you use when you're doing the dry brushing, so long as obviously it's a brighter colour, because the contrast paints are going to go over the top of this. So you want a relatively nice sort of light colour, but obviously doing the dry brushing does mean that all the little nooks and crannies are going to stay nice and dark, which is obviously what you want for the finished sort of product. So when doing the dry brushing, it's kind of down to you just how light or dark you want this guy to be. Obviously if you are making something a bit more evil looking, you possibly wouldn't sort of go over it too much, so when you put the contrast paints on, he does stay quite sort of dark and mysterious looking. But say, because this guy's obviously got a lot of skin tones on him, I wanted him relatively light. So as well as doing obviously the grey dry brushing, or in this case the sand dry brushing, I do then go over and do like a very light white dry brushing. And obviously this one really does just capture or touch the very sort of outer bits of the model, which is yeah, pretty cool. So I say, this is so easy to do. Yeah, and if I can do it and obviously enjoy it, then yeah, anyone can. Before I go on to the third and final part, I just want to quickly mention Easy Roller Dice, as that's where I get all my dice from, and they are awesome. There's so many different types and varieties. There's a link in the description, guys. But they've just started a Kickstarter where they're going to produce obviously these larger D20s. And yeah, I mean, I love D20s because obviously that is a D&D dice. There's a link in the description, guys, so where you can click on and go and have a look at their Kickstarter. And obviously if you're interested in getting some large oversized D20s, now's the time to sort of go over there and sort of pledge to the Kickstarter, as you get the dice obviously cheaper than they will be when they sort of finally release them. So yeah, a whole load of different types of varieties of looking ones. And yeah, I can't wait to get hold of my set. So on to the third and final step of the Slapchop painting technique. This one is just as easy as the others, and this is just getting your colours that you're going to use and yeah, just painting them straight on. No real difficulty here. It is just a case of picking the colours you want and yeah, painting straight over the dry brushing you've done. Obviously let the dry brushing dry, obviously. I can't help saying obviously. Need to stop doing that, don't I, really? Obviously. Yeah, nice and simple. Obviously the colours go on so you can obviously still see all the shading that's underneath. With these speed paints, contrast paints, dipping inks, whichever ones you use, it is a case of the more obviously layers you put on, then the deeper and darker that particular colour looks. But in this case I only did one coat of everything, and yeah, really pleased with how the final sort of result looked. I will soon be doing a comparison video, as there are quite a few different sort of contrast paints you can get. So obviously you get the contrast paints from Citadel, speed paints from Army Painter, and the dipping inks from Green Stuff World. And I do believe there's a Vallejo range coming out. I have contacted them to see if they can sort of send me some, but I have not heard back. But yeah, so I'm going to do a video soon. Obviously you get one figure, obviously the same figure, and then paint it 3 different ways, just to see how the paints sort of go on, how they look. Yeah, and just my thoughts on all of them. I say so far from using them all, they all seem to do the sort of similar sort of result, which is awesome. But yeah, it would be quite good to sort of do a full comparison, just to see all 3 of them obviously get a similar colour, and yeah, see how they all take to the Slapchop method, which is kind of definitely my go-to painting technique at the moment, just because it is so simple, so quick and so easy. So yeah, when I do the paintings now, I am going to try and obviously show every colour that I use. I'm not going to put a link in the description, so you would have to sort of like flick through to see the colours that I use. But as you can see, obviously they are very translucent in colour. So it is a case of, again, if you wanted it to be darker, then obviously more layers. But I quite like how it comes through and really shows all the sort of like the dry brushing marks underneath. I kind of like that look. So obviously this is where each of us are all different in our painting techniques, and obviously what we like to look at, the sort of final result. So this might not be for everyone, but it certainly is for me. It's certainly how I enjoy painting. I enjoy getting the figures done, and I say for quickness, yeah, there's nothing's going to beat this, or certainly nothing at the moment. And yeah, to get a figure sort of from plastic to tabletop ready in sort of 20 minutes or under, I think is pretty good going. So yeah, definitely the way to go to get through all those figures. If you want to help support the channel, guys, consider becoming a patron, as you get to see behind the scenes of what I'm currently working on before it comes out on YouTube, as well as having input in what I sort of do next. And I say it helps the channel out, as it means I can continue to sort of keep buying bits and pieces that I need to keep making stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, a big thank you and shout out to all the people that have just scrolled off on the screen, as well as Easy Roller Dice and Any Cubic for being sort of long-term sponsors. So much appreciated to those. And don't forget to check out Easy Roller Dice Kickstarter. So yeah, link in the description. So if you want to get in early and get the rather large D20s, cheaper than they'll be when they actually come out, then yeah, go and pledge over there. So as you can see, just then I did actually change the colour of some of the browns on here, just because I'd use a lighter brown, so I changed that for a darker one. Just because I wanted to, obviously there's a couple of browns used on him, I just wanted to make one stand out more than the other. So yeah, with the speed paints that I've got, I do have a grey, but it comes out more blue, which is why in this case I use the Citadel contrast colour, just because obviously I wanted the grey, well, to look grey. Obviously there's some colours that I don't have, or I don't think you can get actually, for contrast paints, and obviously one of those is silver. So yeah, there are a few sort of colours that you do have to kind of use normally, and obviously silver is definitely one of them. So yeah, there's a few little bits here and there that I go around and do sort of normal block colours, and you will see later on that I do then go over it with a wash just to break up the colour, because obviously when you put these sort of block colours on, they are a bit too uniformed. So yeah, adding a wash just helps sort of add some shadows, dirty the things up, and make it look more like the rest of the figure with the contrast paints. Which yeah, so yeah, this figure I really loved how he came out, and say because he is a bit of a big ogre, he is going to look rather nice on the tabletop, and terrorising obviously all the D&D figures or whatever kind of games you may want to use him for. If you are new here and you like what I do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell just to be informed of all the videos I do. And guys, those of you who are subscribed, if you can check your notifications, because I have recently heard that a lot of people have, even though they're subscribed and they did have the notification bell on, the bell has been turned off. So yeah, go and click on that, guys, just to check you are receiving notifications, as obviously at the moment I am doing sort of 2 videos a week, and obviously occasionally the odd live stream here and there. So yeah, check that all out, guys, and yeah, hit the thumbs up button, because obviously that does affect the channel's rating, and again just helps me out so much. Obviously nice and simple for you to do, just a couple of button clicks, but yeah, for me it does make rather a large difference. So that's the figure nearly complete, and yeah, really pleased to say with how he's come out and how the speed paint contrast paints have worked. So the one last thing to do, and that is to use the wash. Again, this is just over any areas where I didn't use a speed paint. So I did his toenails in a lighter cream colour, and obviously the silver bits. So they all need a little bit of light sort of wash over them. Well, I say a light wash. If you know me and know this channel, you know I don't do anything such as a light wash. I basically put a ton of wash, just because I can't help myself. And yeah, there we go. Again, really pleased with how he's come out and how he's looking. As when I started painting figures a good year, 2 ago, I would spend hours on a figure, never really be happy with it, wouldn't enjoy the painting, and the figure would come out and yeah, I wouldn't even like the look of him. So the fact that this guy has been done in 20 minutes, he's come out and I just love the way he looks, and yeah, he's ready for the tabletop. So good old clear bases. These ones come with the Wizkids figures, but as you all know, I love clear bases anyway, so even if it hadn't come with a clear base, I would have got a clear base. And yeah, there we go, job done, looking good, and he's ready to take on any heroes and well, throw his big boulder at them. Okay guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, share where possible, leave comments down below, let me know what you thought about this guy and what you want to see next, and yeah, love you all, bye for now.